Good morning. This morning we are going to talk about, are you LinkedIn? How are you linked and why, whether you should be on LinkedIn or not. As a business owner, I think you should, but we'll go into that in a minute. First of all, I want to introduce myself. This is who I am and why it matters, actually. So first of all, I believe in God. I put all my hope and faith and love in God, and He is the first person in my life every single day. A close runner-up is my amazing family, and I have 3 children and a daughter-in-law, and we have a new foster baby in our house, so he's just the love of my life, or not my house, in my family. And my children are all grown up in their 20s and doing their own thing, so it's kind of fun watching that happen in their lives. The third thing I've done that is part of who I am are my friends. I've built a huge network of friendships and collaborations and people I can hang out with and count on. And that was one thing I didn't have at certain times in my life. And so they are very precious and special to me. One thing I love to do every day is make a difference. So I just try to make a difference somewhere. Hopefully I'll make a difference with you here today, give you something to think about, give you something to do. I also make a difference in other ways in my life every single day. I try to just be the best I can be. And the best thing about who I am, you have to know that I love to travel. I like to take vacations. I go a lot of different places. I actually because of my business, I take my work with me, so they're not always vacations. Sometimes they're quote-unquote work, but they're fun. And my last vacation was I spent 2 weeks in Nashville and a week in Las Vegas, with some friends. Nashville, I was visiting my daughter. She just moved there to pursue her music, her love in music. So now, what do? It's different from who I am. So you can see what I do. You can also read about it on my website. I basically help small business owners get all their organization and systems in place. I try to keep them going because I find that a lot of business owners do not launch, do not finish, do not produce what they are meant to produce or what they know. And I think this comes from the generation gap that I'm seeing. I'm seeing that a lot of people are aging out of the job market and getting older and retiring, and yet they're not passing down their experience to the millennials, who really don't want to hear it yet, but they need that knowledge. And so I just try to help them make sure that they get their messages out of them, because I think at this day and at this stage in their life, that's what they're meant to do, is to teach and put their knowledge forth to others. So I think that's where that comes from. And so those two, so you needed to know about me, so that you will trust me when I'm teaching you this class. So you will know that who I am and what I do are important to you, should be important to you, because you shouldn't be following me if you don't know who I am or trust me in any way. So let's go on to LinkedIn. What is LinkedIn and why do you need to be known there? Some people don't need to be known there. If you're a small business owner, though, it is a social media network for business professionals. So as a business owner, you do need to be on LinkedIn, if for nothing else, just to be there, just so people know you exist. If your company is not on LinkedIn, it probably doesn't exist. It's kind of like people say, if you're not online, it probably does. You probably don't exist as a person, which is kind of funny. There's a lot of people who aren't online, but if your company is not on LinkedIn, it probably doesn't exist, and you personally. So there's 2 different parts of LinkedIn, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But when I'm looking up a company and I Google it, your LinkedIn profile will come up if I'm looking for your company. And so let's say I was looking for grocery stores in Clovis, that the grocery stores in Clovis that are on LinkedIn will rate higher than the grocery stores in Clovis that aren't on LinkedIn. So it just helps with that kind of stuff. But it also is someplace where people can go and look and see if you're legitimate, because there's a lot of stuff on the internet. People don't trust the internet. I don't always trust the internet to what it tells you. And so it's a good place just to make sure you have a really professional profile out there to show that who you are. So people will show that you really do know what you're doing in the business world. So step number 1 on LinkedIn. It's the hardest and most time-consuming step. I'm actually going to end this slideshow here and take you to my personal LinkedIn page. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Is this, are you doing a share, slide share now, or what is it called?
I'm doing a share screen at the bottom.
That's what I mean. Okay.
But it says it's paused. Why does it say it's paused? Interesting. Okay, so are you still seeing the PowerPoint, or are you seeing my screen?
I'm seeing where to start. Okay, now I'm seeing you.
Right. So,
I was seeing where do you start.
Yep. So there we go. So I'm going to get you that page now. So this is my personal profile on LinkedIn. Your personal profile and your company profile are different. So this is my personal everything, and all of this needs to be filled in. It's a long, daunting process sometimes, but it just shows you who you are. One of the cool things about LinkedIn is right here, it allows you to personalize if you pay for the upgrade in LinkedIn, you can personalize this little box that tells people how easy to get to you easier. So, and also make sure you fill out your contact information. If people do not have their contact information on here, you give them what you want them to know. Interesting. I'm going to change this really quick. Well, my phone number was wrong. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. Because it was right. I looked earlier, but anyway. So, yeah. So if they can't find you, they don't know where to find you. So there's no reason to be on LinkedIn if you're not going to let people find you. And I say that because I see people all the time that don't have their contact information on here. And so, and then you can go down and you can just put in anything you want people to know about you, about your professional life. So a lot of it is things you've done, courses, projects you've done, a patent you might own, books you've written, your personal details. You can put more personal details in there. And advice for contacting. So LinkedIn is used a lot by human resources people and talent scouts to look for people to source into open positions. So if I'm a mid or top level accountant, I actually have a friend who does this, so that's why I'm using the accounting field. She does it a lot. If she's looking for someone to fill one of her accountant roles, she will go on and up in the search for people who are at that level in the accounting field. And she will contact them and say, are you happy where you're at? I'm sure she says it more professionally than that. Are you happy where you're at? I'd like you to know about this job I have opening at this other company that looks like it might be a good fit for your qualifications. If you want to apply, here's a link, and she has it all right here on LinkedIn. So she will go, and she's what she calls sourcing. She sources candidates for top level jobs in the country, right off of LinkedIn. Now, as a business owner, you probably don't want to be sourced. So whether you fill that out or not is up to you. A lot of times businesses will put that on there, and in their advice for contacting, they might say, I'm looking to sell my company. Maybe someone's looking to buy a company, or acquire a company. And so I'm looking to be acquired. And so you could put that kind of stuff in there too, because this is one of the places where people look for that kind of stuff. And then just make sure that everything's filled in, your experience as much as possible that is relevant. So if you were a babysitter in the 1970s, you probably don't need to put that on LinkedIn unless that is where your career started and that's what you want to, you still want to be a nanny and they're a great referral for you. I bet someone's really not going to think that 50 years later you still want to do the same thing and that's relevant. If it is, I would update it. So I would just use them as a referral person. So the cool thing about LinkedIn is it does allow you to get referrals. It allows you to upload documents, photos. You can hyperlink to places. You can video. You can put even presentations you've done right on the job. So if there's something you did at that job that you're very proud of, that you would love people to know about, like I have a friend who was a $1 million producer at a company she was at, and now she runs her own consulting business. And I just said, you need to put that on there, that you were the $1 million producer there, because that just shows credibility for what you did when you were at that company. And so just make sure it's all up to date and all of that stuff is filled in as much as possible. You don't have to put on there anything you don't want to. The cool thing about LinkedIn is you get to choose what you put out there, and you can put out a very professional front for your company, for yourself and for your company. So I've put a lot of stuff in mine. I do a lot of things. People can also go on and rate you. So like I have people who have gone on and rated me as a transcriptionist, rated me as a data entry person, a customer service, all kinds of different things. They can go on and rate you and on your knowledge and what you've done, your skills. Now, some of those people I've worked with, some of them might be friends just helping me out. These are other things I also know about. You put all these tags in yourself. So when you're building your profile, it'll ask you for tags. It'll ask you what you do, and just find as many of them as you possibly can so that when you're building, like with every company, it'll ask you what you did. It'll ask you for tags, things like that, because then more people can find you. And it's also a cool thing because like all of these, if someone puts in the search bar social networking up at the top, that my name will come up as someone who does that. And I have all these people saying that I do a great job at it. And so that really helps boost me in being found. And then, you can put your education, any additional stuff. And then down here I have recommendations. You can ask to be recommended. The cool thing is right here where it says ask to be recommended, you can click on that and you can go to any of your friends and ask them, or any of your clients, any of the companies you work with, and ask to be recommended by them. And they usually give glowing recommendations. I have some great ones on there. And you can manage these and move them around and all of that stuff. So you can have the one that you like the best on top or whatever. You get to do all of this. So once you have your profile all built, your next step, this is still in your personal, don't forget, is to add connections. And you can go add connections. You can do it lots of different ways, just like you can on other social media networks. You can pull in your Gmail people, your Yahoo, any of your email people. They'll see if they're already on LinkedIn, and you can just choose to connect with them. And so, like, right now I have over 1,000 connections on here. Once you get to 500, it says 500 plus. So I have over 1,000 connections on here. And the cool thing is that means that's 1,000 people, but I also have all their connections in my network. So if I go to connections over here, and it'll tell me things about my connections. It'll also give me recommendations on people I might also know. So you can look at all the people that I've already connected with. I can add more people just by looking at their connections, by my friends' connections, and add people that way. That might be a good fit for me. a lot of times they'll come and add you as a connection. That might be a good fit. And it's all about business networking. So LinkedIn is a business-to-business thing. It's a professional social network. It's not like Facebook where it's your friends and you know, you can talk to each other about personal stuff. Most of the time, LinkedIn is business. And so the people you connect with, you need to have a reason to connect with them. And a lot of times that reason might be that you're good power partners. I have a lot of good power partners in my industry. I don't like to do copywriting per se, so I have a couple of high-level copywriters that I work with if I need someone to write a blog for a client and things like that. And so, and then I take them, proofread them if I need to. Usually copywriters are pretty good, but I might move it into the vernacular of that industry a little bit more, and then I can put the blogs together and all of their sequence together for them. And so you just need to know. So there's a great place to find the people in your industry. It's also great when you're out networking to go find them on LinkedIn and Facebook. Go find them and connect with them. See what they're having to say. So if you go to your home feed, your connections, what they're saying shows up. And so Michelle is actually a web content person I work with, and you can see that you can see that she had a BNI meeting this morning. And I might say, hey, invite me to your BNI group. I want to go. If I'm here in town, I can see what they're doing. But it boosts your expertise in the industry. So if I start talking a lot about social media marketing, which I do talk a lot about because I have 2 different companies that do that. One at an entry level for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, and also one at a mid-level for those who are ready to up their game and get really targeted marketing and the whole marketing funnels going with webinars and video production and things like that. So I have both of those, so I do talk a lot about marketing and that kind of stuff on LinkedIn, about what you can do with the new tools that are available. And I go and look at my connections and see who else is talking about it. What are they saying? I really keep up on my industries that I'm in on LinkedIn. It's a great place to keep up with what people are saying. I also go under interests. And if you go under interests, you can go to groups and you can add groups and see what they're saying. So I've added groups, and they'll give you groups you should add. You can say, find a group right here on the right-hand side here. If you go find a group, if you enter your topic or keyword, they'll find you a lot of groups with those topic and keywords, and you can look at those groups and see how they're interacting, see what they're saying about your business, seeing what they're talking about. It's also a great way to make relationships. You can, when you start commenting on what they're saying, see what you've seen in the industry. It really keeps you up to date in whatever industry you're in by following all of those things right here. Now, all of this stuff has still only been personal, your personal LinkedIn page. Now, there's a company page also. It says companies. You can link up with companies, and I have a lot of companies I follow on LinkedIn, but you can also create a company page. So you can go and create a company page. Mine actually has been hacked, so when I go to create mine for that, actually I could do it for the other. Maybe I can do it for the other one. Let's see if it'll let me. My LinkedIn got hacked, so I'm still dealing with it. Yeah, I'm still dealing with that through customer service. So I can't show you my company page, but I can show you a different company's page. So we'll do Entrepreneur Media. So you can look at their company page. It doesn't give you as much things to do on it, so you don't have as much to fill out and get going. But the cool thing about the company page is all your employees can get connected with your company. And so it shows if you have contractors or employees. If you don't, it doesn't matter either. But it really is a place where people can find your company and follow your company, and you can put really good updates about what's going on in your business world, keep people up to date. You can establish yourself as an expert. I can tell you that, I mean, as all the companies out there, there's not that many people doing LinkedIn as establishing themselves as an expert. Now, this is a media company, so of course they're going to have a lot. They're going to have a lot of content on here, and you can see they post articles, and you can look at their articles and comment and all of that, and all of those comments will show up as your interaction on LinkedIn. So you have interaction. You can see people have commented down here. I can look at the comments, the likes, all of that. This was probably just, yeah, it was just posted 17 minutes ago, so it doesn't have too many comments, but it will have some. And you can also go look, if you like the way someone's commenting and what they're doing in the business world, you can go look at their profiles, and you can share them and see what they're having to say and all of that stuff. You can connect with them. So that's one way for your company to be on there, and it's also a really great way for it to really show that it is a professional company industry leader. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint now to make sure that I covered all of my points. So let's go here. Then, oh, I have to screen share it. I have to change the screen sharing. Now, if you do the webinar part of Zoom, you don't have to change the screen sharing like I've been having to. And now I can do this. There. So we are. So this is a watch what you put on your profile. Make sure that everything is filled out. This one over here is one that had a lot of red flags. So the guy's name, or the person's name, is John Harry, and it's a picture of it's a stock picture of a woman. It's not even his picture. You can tell it's a stock picture from online. Alamo, California I Googled it. It's a itty bitty town in the middle of the mountains. Probably not true. He had a relationship status on his personal, on his, him, her, whatever, had a relationship status on their LinkedIn profile. You should not, that's weird. You know, it's like there's no relationship stuff going on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional business network. And then a contact info was not filled out at all. But then I was laughing because 500 people have actually gone and added them as friends, including myself. I added the person as a friend, as somebody too, but I did it on purpose to show, so I could use it to show the red flags. And the person hasn't actually contacted me, which is good, because normally the second you do that, they contact you and ask for money or tell you look good or something like that. You know, everybody's had that happen to them. So it's just the red flags. So just make sure that you don't, when you're filling out your profile, you have no red flags like that, so that people will contact you and about business, and they will know that you are legitimate and professional. I just put your business challenge is building your experience portfolio. Connections, who do you know and why do they, and who do they know? So LinkedIn is about connections. It's business to business. It's all about connections. And you are gaining access to everyone else's network. So I can't remember exactly what the formula is for LinkedIn, but I think it's every person has at least 500 connections. And so if you think if they have 500 and they have 500 and they have 500, how many connections you can make just with your postings and with what you're doing. I told you about groups and how to make more connections inside the groups. And you need to build a company page. Okay, so here's some stuff. Here's some things that your company page does allow you to do. There's an SEO value in it. It does come up in Google If you have a company page, your company comes up higher. It has, because it has tags built in. LinkedIn is pretty optimized for this stuff. It was really built as a business network, so it's built to help businesses out. You can also brand. So your branding for your business is important. And so on your company page, you can build out your brand. You can put all your branded stuff to your company right there on your company page. And also you can control. LinkedIn has a great back end that allows you to control what's put on your company page. So some disgruntled employee won't be able to get on there and post something without your knowledge, won't be able to defame your company in any way. So they have that all built into them. So it's a really great place. You can also ask for reviews. We talked about that on your personal page, and also on your company page. You can ask people who've worked with you to go on and put a review on there. It actually, they can connect it to Yelp from there too. So it would go on Yelp, and it could go on your company page on LinkedIn. You can do recruitment if you're looking for contractors, you're looking for employees. It's a great place to really look and see what people are putting out there. I would also suggest, if you're recruiting, to go look at their Facebook page too, to see what they're putting out there in their personal life. But in their business life, for what it's a great place to source employees or contractors, or even people you might want to do business with. A lot of times, if I have a problem, I need a mechanic, my car breaks down here in town, I'll go onto LinkedIn and look for a mechanic. Because I want to see what people say, and I like the fact that you can put reviews on there. And you can also create a buzz, which means that you can put all your company stuff, all your newsletters, all your everything right on LinkedIn, and create a buzz about your company, because the more times it comes up in feeds anywhere, the more views you get, and maybe hopefully the more business you get. So I did actually take this from an article that someone wrote that I follow on LinkedIn, about the different things you can do with a company page. There's a few more other reasons you should be on LinkedIn. You can establish yourself as an expert in your field. That's on your personal page and on your company page. So you can become an expert, and your company can become an expert too. And then the ways to use it for marketing is status updates, blog posts. I post my blogs to my website. My website automatically allows me to post it to LinkedIn, which shoots it to Twitter, which shoots it to Facebook. So I don't have to do all the posts in all those different areas. It automatically shoots it everywhere. They integrate seamlessly. So my blog goes out at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and by 10:15 it's posted on all my social media marketing. And I'm getting interaction in all places, and it's different kind of interaction. So you really have to watch when you're shooting it to all those places, what the message is. So sometimes I don't shoot my blogs at the same time to all of them. I'll shoot the one with a business headline to LinkedIn and Twitter, and then I will do Facebook separately. My blog allows me to do that separately, so I'll do it separately as with a different kind of more social headline on it, because Facebook is more social. People don't like it when you throw business in their face on Facebook too much, and I don't like it when people do that to me, so I'm really careful about watching the messages I put in. Some of my blog posts are more social and more friendly, and so I just won't send it to LinkedIn, because if it's not really about business, it doesn't really go. I mean, it can be about business, but if I don't want it, if it's something that's totally off topic from what I do in my business life, then I don't send it to LinkedIn. I send it to Facebook and Twitter instead. But that's the cool thing is you can you can look at what you're doing and decide where to put them. And like a status update on LinkedIn is a business update. It's, can't believe I got 2 new clients already this morning. I got them through phone and referrals. How do you guys get great clients, from client referrals? How do you get clients? What's your biggest? It's conversation starters, but it's about business. Whereas on Facebook, it may be about something a little more personal, or you might not want the interaction. Or you just want to let people know what your company is about. It's kind of building your morals and values and building your business. It's a little bit different between Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. You can ask for recommendations. We talked about that, and you can build a community. Another great, we talked about groups, we talked about company pages, but there's also LinkedIn Answers. Whereas if you have a question about something in your business and you put it in there, I need to hire 5 employees. What's the one question everyone asks in their interview process that really helps them weed out the ones that won't fit your company? You know, you'll get response. People will answer what to ask. So if you have a question, it's a great place to ask a question about your business. You get a lot of different perspectives, and LinkedIn is international. So it's not just United States, it's not just Canada, it's not just Europe, it's international. So it goes all around the world. So you'll get different answers depending on different marketplaces. So you might want to say, hey, in my marketplace, this is what we do, but I'm thinking about expanding into a bigger area or a different marketplace. How do you get connections there? So like, I live in a city called Fresno. It's actually a big city in the Central Valley of California, but it still has small city way of doing business. So to do business in Fresno, I have to go out. I have to meet people. I have to network. I have to get referrals. But the cool thing is once I get a client that loves me, I get a lot of referrals because everybody, I mean, it's a pretty tight-knit community where people know everybody. And so once you're in, and people go, oh, call Paula, oh, call Paula. And I get that a lot, but it takes a while to build up that trust and that thing, and it's a face-to-face thing in my community. But now I've done business in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I do a lot of business in the LA area, in the Los Angeles area, and those are bigger communities. They don't care if I do business with them online. They just want to know that I'll get the job done, that it'll be, and I still gain connections that way and referrals, but it's a different kind of way to do business. So to reach them, I just have to get into their networks. Like I belong to a couple of organizations that are international, and I get into their networks and I post and I talk, kind of like what we do on LinkedIn, post about business, talk about business, do a lot of comments on business, and I build up a following there. And so then people will say, hey, I heard, I heard this, like, I've seen this person's posts on our site about this, you know, what you need. And so, and I can get business that way. So you really need to know like how to build business in your community. A lot of my community is on LinkedIn, but I will probably not get any business out of them until I meet them face to face here in my area. And just to know that, you know, so you know how to get business. If you're doing it wrong, you probably won't be getting as much business. So anyway, the cool thing about LinkedIn is it does allow you to leverage your address. You can brand it. You can become an expert. It turns cold calls into warm calls. That's kind of like what I was talking about with connections and things like that, and with interactions on groups and interactions on different things. You can ask to be a connection with somebody and talk to them about business, and whereas you don't have to just go out and go, hey, will you be my client? Will you be my client? You can have an interaction, and it becomes more warm because you've already I really liked how you answered that question on LinkedIn about what questions to ask in an interview process. What is your experience? You know, and so you might become power partners, or you might get a client out of it. You can find great employees and contractors, and you can keep your connections up to date on what you're doing. So the cool thing about the personal part of LinkedIn is if you change companies, you can put a blast out to all your connections. You can say, I've changed companies. I still do the same thing, and now I'm doing it over here. So then they can know what you're doing and know where to find you and all of that. So you can really keep people up to date on what you're doing. Are there any questions today about LinkedIn? Or have I totally overwhelmed you and you just want to shut down and go away from your computer for an hour?
No, I have a few questions.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. First of all, you said, do you have the basic LinkedIn account or you have an upgraded one?
I have the basic one. So everything you saw, you can do with a basic LinkedIn account, including your company profile.
And then you can only have 50 groups, right?
I think on the basic, yes, you can only have 50 groups.
So what's the value of having the upgraded group? The upgraded rate, excuse me.
More connections. You can make more connections. You can also post jobs and do some other things that have to do with in the job industry. I'm gonna stop my share here. There is so in the screen. To change my screen here. So on this, so where it says business services, talent solutions, post a job, talent solutions, advertise, you can run ads, sales solutions, you can run marketing campaigns. See up here where it says get the total Wi-Fi solution, that's a marketing campaign. I think all of those you would have to have free. You would have to. So here's the page that tells you what you do with the premium. Land a job, grow and nurture your networks. You can promote your business. It gives you a lot of more promotion and connection. Find leads and accounts in your target market. It also allows you to see a person's full profile. You can't see a full profile on the basic. You can't see who their connections are. And all of that stuff on the basic plan. You can see some of it, but you can't see all of it.
So you don't recommend getting an upgraded one, or you do? It sounds like you don't.
It depends on what you're doing. So none of this is things I need to do personally, so I don't. But I have a friend who is a talent scout, and she has the premium of the premium because she posts jobs on there. She sources people on there. She needs to see everything. And she needs to be able to message people. That's the other thing you can do with the upgraded account is you can direct message people into their email, emails.
And with the non-paid account, you can only message people that you're a
Yes.
number one with. Okay.
Right. You can you can only the ones that you're connection with. So that's one of the other advantages of it. So it just depends on what you're trying to do on LinkedIn, whether you need the upgraded or not. I always say start with the basic and see what you need. You know, whatever you need is what you need, and they offer it. It's just there's no reason to have something you don't need.
Right. So also, when you said that when you put social networking as one of your areas, when people look in Google for social networking, you will come up?
Not in Google, in LinkedIn.
Oh,
for the
okay.
LinkedIn search.
Sure.
It might come up in Google, but that's a pretty broad category.
No,
I'm a little itty bitty company, so that's not, it's
right.
not going to come up in Google. I'm not going to come up in Google.
No, I misunderstood. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you also said one other thing, and then I'll let you go.
No, you're right.
You said that you post blog posts, and how do you shoot the blog posts to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter?
So on my website, where I post my blog post, I have that option to shoot them there.
So it depends on your own. Okay.
It depends on what you're using. WordPress, they have plugins for it. If you're using, I'm actually not even using WordPress. I'm using just a basic one right now. I'm having my WordPress one built, but the basic one allows me to. It allows you to shoot it to your social networks. But if you just shoot it to LinkedIn, LinkedIn shoots it to Twitter. You can set up LinkedIn to shoot things to Twitter. Twitter will shoot it to Facebook. So
I have it so that Facebook shoots to Twitter.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't, because people would kill me if they were following me on Twitter with as much as I Facebook.
Okay, so you don't.
Yeah. But that's just what I do. And if I started Twittering more, I probably would switch that. But because I have my Twitter going to my Facebook right now, because I don't Twitter as much. But it just depends on how you want to do it. And I play around with it a lot to see how I can get following. So right now, I also, one of the things is I can shoot it to my business page on Facebook and my personal page straight from my blog. So I do both a lot of times. Sometimes I don't. Just depends on what the blog is about.
Now, I noticed before with LinkedIn, I don't use LinkedIn that much, but I use it sometimes. And I noticed that in the past, if I was in a group with somebody, I could try to connect with them and it would just let me do it if I was in the group. And I don't think it lets you do that anymore. Is that true?
Yeah, it didn't just now when I clicked on somebody, it didn't let me.
Yeah, it used to. It would say, which group are you in together?
Oh, no, it still kind of says that. Maybe it will. Let's see. Let me go down. See if it'll let me. We're doing business together. I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't anymore.
It used to.
Yeah, it did used to. So yeah, it's hard. It's harder, but it probably kept people from being spammed as much.
Okay.
Because I could go into a group and message every single person in the group with my spam message, and I know LinkedIn has really cracked down on their spam because they had some stuff going on. And like I said, my account got hacked, so I can't even add a company profile right now. I'm waiting for them to fix it. I noticed it yesterday. So I can't show you that. So yeah, so that's how you do it. Any more questions you have?
That's good.
All right. I'm gonna stop the share one more time. I'm gonna go back to my PowerPoint and show you one more thing. This is just, I'm going to wrap it up for you here, just so you guys know. Oops. I do offer to help build or proofread your content. For today, I can offer a special reduced rate of $25 per hour to proofread your LinkedIn personal or business page profiles and offer suggestions on how to enhance them. It's one of the things I do is proofread and help people with their wording and make sure that they're getting the right message out there. So I work, so I've helped people get jobs. I have testimonies to people who've gotten jobs with the profiles that I've helped them build on LinkedIn, just the way they're putting themselves out there. And then I'm also teaching other classes. Next week is Facebook. And then I'm doing it in MailChimp. And I'm going to actually change the type form to Jotform. I like Jotform better, and it integrates better with WordPress. So I'm going to creating surveys. I have a lot of clients that use surveys in their work, and it's a great, easy tool to use. And Pinterest. Pinterest is a new on the social networking platform. And a lot of people aren't sure how to use it or if they need to use it as a business owner. And some people don't, and some people do. So I am going to teach a class on that. So thank you. And if you want to give me your feedback, you're more than welcome to send me an email. You will get a copy of this video at the end, before the end of the day. So I think I'm going to try to do it now, but I am heading out just for a little while. So it's going to be probably this afternoon sometime it'll come in. It'll be a copy of the video, and it's through YouTube, but it's a unlisted site, unlisted YouTube video, so you won't be able to see it without the link. And that will have some more information on how to contact me. And if you went to my website, you can find information there. I appreciate you coming today and being here at the class. And have a good day.